Ready? My name is Sadie Miller, and this is my speech on Making the Team Dance Line Edition. What is dance? Well, dance is the action of moving rhythmically to music, typically following a set of sequence of steps. Being as you are all my family, you know that dance has always been a large part of my life for many years. As this is my last season of my dancing career, I thought it would be appropriate to finally explain how dance came to be and how I was a part of making it what it is today. To begin to understand dance, it is important to know its origins. According to HistoryWorld.net, the main purpose of most dances in history were to celebrate or express some sort of ritual. In ancient times, civilizations danced before the gods in temple ritual. They used it to tell stories of gods or imitate patterns. In Egypt, women tend to dance at funerals to express their sadness. Grecians danced at the Temple of the Virgins. They had a type of dance called a choros, which is a dance that is done in a circle to honor a god. In the 6th century, this dance became the centerpiece of Greek theater. For the Hindu temples, dance began as early as the first century AD. Their dancing was considered the movement of the priests. Each of their gestures represented something. A classical dance called Bharata Natyam, which is still performed by their ancestors today. Ballet is another form of dancing that began in the 16th century by the French and Italians to entertain them. All dances begin with the basic technique. The fundamentals of dance technique are arm and feet placement, head placement, and necessary methods and procedures. These forms of dancing I just explained are what taught us the fundamentals that we use today in our newer forms of dancing. Then there was modern dancing. As said by Alexandra Tomalonis from Dance USA, stated in an article, modern dancing definitely takes on older concepts. The late 1970s to 80s is when modern dancing really started to come out. Instead of being used as a representation of something, dance became a good way to show self-expression. Each generation creates their own version of modern dance. There is no specific vocab or moves. Hip-hop is a style of popular music of U.S. Black and Hispanic origin. It is rap with electric beats, so as you can imagine, when a person is dancing to this music, there is a lot of fast, sharp movements. Jazz has a broad range of dance styles. Most popular form of jazz is moving to the rhythms and techniques of jazz music that was developed by American blacks in the early part of the 20th century. Ballet, on the other hand, has many specific types of turns and jumps, but they can be altered greatly by changing arm, head, or feet placement. It is characterized by light, graceful, fluid movements, and many times people use point shoes that allow you to walk on your toes as your feet are pointed. These outlines of types of dance were eventually turned into a sport. It took quite some time for people to realize we deserve the recognition of being a sport. The sport of dancing has two categories, jazz and high kick. We have a varsity and junior varsity for each dance, just as every other sport does. Now I will explain what a year on the dance team consists of. Our year begins with tryouts the spring before the year. Everyone who would like to participate shows up to learn basic techniques for turns and jumps. We also are taught a short dance that includes the skills we are taught. Then our coaches and captains watch and evaluate the dancers to see what teams they should be placed on based solely on their skill level at the time. There will also be another tryout after dance begins to see if you have improved over the fall and summer and deserve a better spot. Camps are how we improve ourselves over the summer before the season. Usually a group like Just for Kicks or UDA will be brought in to give us tips and pointers, but they also teach our captains new and exciting choreography to use in our dance for that upcoming season. They are really a fun experience that gives you a chance to bond with your team before dance actually starts. Next we go into practicing. That usually begins the end of October. Every weekday from 3:15 till 5:30, and unlike many other schools, we have it Saturdays from 8 to noon as well. The days get very long. We always feel tired and worn out. but the goals we achieve make all the practices worth it. We start by warming up and stretching. Then we do a short workout to build our muscles. Then we practice the jazz or high kick dance that the captains and coaches made up. We go over it continuously until we have it down to a T. Then we begin drilling, also known as cleaning our dances. We make necessary changes all throughout the season. Performances are a way we mentally prepare ourselves for competitions. It shows us what it will be like to perform in front of judges without the pressure of competing. After about a month and a half of practicing and performances, we begin competitions. There are usually 10 to 15 teams we compete against. The days begin very early. As soon as we get to the school, we begin getting ready for our mark time, which is a 5-minute block of time per dance, where we get to go out on the floor, mark out our spots, and run through the dance. Once that is done, we begin to do our makeup and hair and get costumes ready. There are about 5 judges at every competition. They judge you on 10 different categories. For kick, it is the height of our kicks, which have to be higher than our waist, and how many kicks we do. And for jazz, you are required to do a single turn and 1 jump. They also judge us on our execution skills, smiles, how we present ourselves, and that we are all uniform, and recovery when you mess up. Each category is worth 50 points, so there are 500 points possible. The average that people usually get halfway through the season is 350 to 400 points. Dance to me will always be more than a sport, it's a passion. There is a quote I would like to share with you. It takes an athlete to dance, but an artist to be a dancer. No one will ever understand the emotions that a dancer feels. A big emotion is love, first for the sport, second for your team members. The girls that you spend countless hours with for months become so much more than team members. They become your best friends, sometimes even sisters. When you get out on that floor to show off your months of hard work, standing right next to these other amazing athletes, you just know that this is where you are meant to be. The unexplainable rush you feel makes all the sweat, tears, and pain worth this amazing feeling. I hope that what you gain from this speech is the knowledge that dance is so much more than the routines you see from us. It has evolved for years. Though it may continue to change, the therapy and expression that dancing gives people will always be the same, no matter what the reason is that someone dances.